The Justice Files. The Justice Files. The Justice Files. The Justice Files. You got no damn right. The Justice Files.
Disclaimer. The information in this video is not meant as legal advice and is not meant to harass anyone, but is an attempt to make a lawful private arrest according to the rule of law and during a time of secret societies and widespread official corruption. Some of the evidence presented is done under fair use that permits the use of copyrighted and other material to achieve a public benefit. I, Randy LaHoo, will continue hearing witness testimony in my internationally recognized common law court of record, organized under the law of nations. I, Randy LaHoo, understand that I am still sworn to my oath of truth as I continue providing statements and information in this matter that seeks to effect a lawful arrest as part of a continuing common law fresh pursuit of known violators. Probable cause evidence, bribery, concealment, conflict of interest, records tampering, official corruption, civil rights violations. The public record as it currently stands is incomplete as to the real reason the Cockpit Cafe was closed by the City Council after being in business for some 30 years and enjoying 3 generations of loyal customers. I believe that the public's right to know the truth is being overridden by the poor judgment of city policymakers who have something embarrassing to hide. Any Sanford City Councilor who on November 14, 2017 voted on matters relating to the Cockpit Cafe should be ashamed for not voiding those votes when they learned on 11/15 that grossly false statements were made by the city manager when advising the City Council prior to their taking votes that adversely affected the Cockpit Cafe, who was seeking to continue contracting with the city in the customary course of business through the city's questionable request for proposals process. Despite the prima facie nature of the evidence showing a Class B crime having been committed against the Cockpit Cafe, city officials on November 14, 2017 voted to reject the Cockpit Cafe's second proposal and to issue a third request for proposals. In so doing, they were negligent in recognizing the city manager's false statements, and as such their voting in ad hoc fashion was a group effort that effectively endorsed the scheme to defraud, and in fact they acted as one and achieved that result. So at best, the city councilors were potential fact witnesses to a criminal trial. And at worst, they are conspirators, but either way, they had a conflict of interest that needed to be disclosed in writing before taking the votes. The city council should have ensured that a criminal investigation was performed on the matter by the proper law enforcement authorities. They should have kept the public notified as to the status and results of that investigation. They should have made a written disclosure of the appearance of conflict, and they should have made a public notice that there would be further public discussion on the matters prior to taking the votes. On December 19th, I personally gave the City Council pages of questions and evidence that have yet to be answered or presented to the public in an open public forum. Why is that? Every one of them took an oath to work in the public's best interest, to allow for public participation, public inspection of records, and to make a written public disclosure of any conflicts of interest. Well, being accused of conspiracy in Class B crime when such claims are supported by probable cause, and then taking a vote to conceal the appearance, is a gross violation of their oath. Clearly, that's an interest that will affect the officials or the members' ability to make a fair and impartial decision. That's their oath to the people of Sanford. They shall abstain from voting, but in defiance of their oath, again on December 19, 2017, they did not abstain. And they did not openly investigate. And they kept all of the same bad actors involved in the process to oversee the city's third request for proposals. I'm not surprised by the outcome because it was to be expected. What happened to the City Council meetings for December 19th, 2017? The Sanford Town Charter says that the results of votes taken by multiple members shall be recorded in the minutes, but those minutes are missing. The January 2nd, 2018 minutes indicate that the December 19th, 2017 minutes were approved by a vote of 6-0. So why are they missing from the city's online list? I believe that the City Council meeting minutes for December 19, 2017 would have shown that they were intending to reject the Cockpit Cafe's second proposal and to issue a third request for proposals for the city's on-airport restaurant facility. And they had in attendance 5 or 6 members of the Sanford Airport Advisory Committee who didn't speak on the matter, but perhaps were there for support. That vote didn't occur, however, because of a criminal complaint that I made in that public forum on December 19th, 2017, and against the players in the request for proposals process. It was after that criminal complaint that the City Council instead agreed to vote upon items that were not listed in the minutes or scheduled for open public discussion, and took on the appearance of a bribe that ultimately was fulfilled in part by extending the lease for the Cockpit Cafe for 1 year and under the same terms that included a month-to-month termination by either party type agreement, signed after the November 14th, 2017 City Council meeting. The January 2, 2018 minutes indicate that the December 19th, 2017 meeting minutes are approved, yet they are missing from the publicly available list. Why is it the case that the public video is available online while the meeting minutes are missing from the city's online list, when they've been approved by a City Council vote of 6-0? Bribery is a quid pro quo designed to lessen one's criminal liability. Did they act in good faith? A governmental entity, of course, can only act through its governing board and its policy-making high-level administrators like the mayor, whose actions may fairly be said to represent the entity, and his conduct is the conduct of the governmental body. Where it is shown that an employee's actions pursued a governmental custom or policy that violates the constitutional rights of citizens, the city itself can be held liable. Accordingly, neither he nor the entity will be immune from a civil rights violation suit under Title 42 United States Code Section 1983, because he may be sued in his individual capacity should such violations occur. What was discussed during the executive session held on December 19, 2017? Where do we find the councilor's motion to go into executive session? By Maine law, the motion itself must indicate the precise nature of the business to be discussed in the executive session, and must include a citation of one or more sources of statutory or other authority that permits an executive session for that business. What was the purpose of the emergency meeting held on December 26, 2017, whereby the City Council voted 4-0 to approve the meeting? The notice requirement is still needed for emergency meetings, so whenever practicable, the local media must be told the time, the location of the meeting, and the motion. The motion must indicate the precise nature of the business of the emergency session and include a citation of one or more sources of statutory or other authority that permits an emergency session for that business. And such notice must be provided by the same or a faster means used to notify the members of the public body or agency hosting the public meeting. Where is that public notice? Where are the December 19, 2017 minutes? Where is the November 14th, 2017 public video? The City Council, led by the mayor, violated the city's charter with impunity. And in the interest of justice, that can't be permitted to stand unchallenged, because it will serve as a future precedent for ignoring the public's interest, as they did when they acted intentionally, recklessly, willfully, and wantonly in causing and advancing the bogus $12,586 artifice and scheme for back rent against the Cockpit Cafe. That's a Class B crime that passed unchallenged through the Sanford Airport Advisory Committee and through the Sanford City Council that disadvantaged the Cockpit Cafe through a lack of good faith, and because the owner's fate was left at the mercy of proven bad actors, the business ultimately was forced to close.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we reject the proposal of Renee Bernier and Cockpit Cafe, and that in addition, we extend the existing lease with the same terms and conditions through calendar year 2018, and also that we engage a mediator or negotiator to work with the city and Renee Bernier at the Cockpit Cafe within that 12-month period, but not to begin before March 2018 to come to some kind of agreement and come up with a contract that will work for everyone.
And I'll second that. And what he means by March 18, this has taken a considerable amount of the airport manager's time. She needs to take a break from this, as I'm sure you do. Mm-hmm. So we will not consider hiring or starting negotiations with mediation until after that time. Mm-hmm. I'm going to recommend to you come without a motion. It's item by item. You discuss utilities, you move on. You discuss the rent, you move on. No emotion. This is a business deal.
How?
No. This is a business
Let's not get sidetracked here.
I just want you to remember that you've got 3 months to get yourself ready. Okay? Mm-hmm. Okay.
We'll give you the support you need, honestly.
The Justice Files. The Justice Files. The Justice Files. The Justice Files. You got no damn right Justice Files.